Good evening. Melissa Johnson here for episode 57 of Melissa Loves to Talk. Today is March 20th, 2026. Hope you've had a good week. I have had an okay week. I didn't have a lot going on this week. Next week I'll be super busy. But this week's been pretty nice. It's spring break here, so it was pretty chill pretty much everywhere. But today we're going to talk about all the people, well, we're going to talk about all the people that keep saying nothing's happening. Okay? I get we're all pretty upset that we're not seeing arrest. We're not seeing this. We're not seeing that. And I feel like a broken record when I say we can't just have arrest. Okay. There's laws. We have to abide by the laws. You know that we are going to follow the laws. We are not the leftist loonies, right? So we're going to follow the laws. And so that means that we have to do investigations. We have to have warrants, subpoenas, all the good stuff. So it's a process. Again, in this country, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So we have to go by that. I know we hate it. We hate the process, right? But it is what it is. So we do have break-in today is Comey, he got away with whatever happened in, North Virginia. That, went south, of course, because the judges are rogue judges. They do not care about the law. They are leftist lunatics. So, of course, that case got dropped, but how fantastic is it that another case got picked up in South Florida? So, not going to have the same outcome. He got subpoenaed. So, not really sure what's next, but we do know that the judge that picked it up is someone that is on our side, and they're going to follow the law. They're not going to be rogue. They're going to go by the Constitution, and they're going to do what needs to be done. Again, don't know what's going to happen, but at least we know there's hope. In Virginia, we knew something was going to go crazy, but now we have South Florida, which is going to be a different situation because we know down there they care about laws. So, I guess the good thing about Trump living in Florida is that he can, just transfer stuff around because he lives in Florida. That's his technical residency. So, okay. So what we have right now is that just happened today. And I have a couple clips that I want to show you about when you feel like everyone's backstabbing us. Are we going to lose the midterms? What's going to happen? Okay. I'm going to play this clip. This is from C-SPAN. We know how lefty Lulu they are. Well, this is a caller. He called in and he kind of educated the host, which I don't know any of the host names because I don't watch any of it. So I don't know her name. But he pretty much educates her on what is going on, and she's not real happy about it. So I'm going to play that clip real quick. I didn't catch it the first time when I listened to it, so I'm not sure where he's from or anything. I'm guessing he says it and I missed it, but we'll see. I don't know exactly where he's from, but I don't care. I love what he says. So we'll listen to that.
Take calls from anyone who wants to give me a call. In the past, I've had some tyrants give me a call, but nonetheless, I want y'all to listen to this. A Trump supporter calls into C-SPAN, and he's having a conversation with this lady,
That's funny.
and they're talking about the SAVE Act. You know, the Jim Crow Act that the Democrats say the Republicans are implementing. Listen to this call. It's in like 2 minutes, but it's so good. And at the very end of this clip, the caller says something that completely just warms my heart. Now, I'm not talking about like the last video. That was a heart-wrenching video. President Trump has a huge heart. And that's the reason why so many people love and respect President Trump, because he has a huge heart. But this caller calling into C-SPAN, y'all have got to listen to this. This is so awesome.
In people in the 20th century in the name of social justice and equity. But after you played that clip of Chuck Schumer carrying on about the SAVE Act and democracy, I got to point something out. They stopped teaching civics in the 1960s, and it's very intentional that Hollywood and the media and our school teachers have been telling us for a very long time that we live in a democracy. If you listen to Chuck Schumer talk, he's gonna ruin our democracy. We do not live in a democracy. Democracy is a hellhole. If you read the Federalist Papers, you'll find out exactly what the founding fathers thought about democracy. We're a constitutional republic. We do not have a majoritarian system. If we actually lived in a democracy, 51% of the population could decide to seize 49% of the population's private property. You could do that in a democracy. Thank God we don't live in one. The thing about the SAVE Act is it's not ruining democracy to insist that people show ID to vote. Democrats are constantly bringing up Jim Crow. They're saying, oh, the Republicans are going to bring back Jim Crow. And the implication, of course, what they don't say, but what they imply, is that it was Republicans that must have been responsible for Jim Crow the first time.
So Mark, let me ask you.
Now, you see how she jumps in because he's telling facts. He's telling the truth about Jim Crow. She jumps in to try to cut him off and try to distract him to get him to talk about something else other than the Democrats implementing Jim Crow Joe, right? Democrats did that, not Republicans. The same Republicans today never supported that crowd, but the Democrats actually do. Listen, watch this interaction. It's so good.
About the SAVE Act, you did mention the provision about showing ID, picture ID. But there's also getting rid of mail-in voting, except in certain cases like military, overseas, things like that.
Yeah.
Look, watch this. See, she tried to get him to get off the whole Jim Crow.
What, you agree with that as well? Yeah.
Mimi, I'll answer that as soon as you give me a moment to finish my thought. I was just about to say it was Democrats who actually did Jim Crow. No Republican legislator ever passed any segregation laws in this country. That was 100% Democrats. Number two, Jimmy Carter did a study years ago on mail-in voting. No civilized country on the planet does mail-in voting. Even the Carter Commission figured out that mail-in voting is the most insecure way to vote. The only reason we did it is because we had a psyop going on called COVID, which was meant to fearmonger and make people stay in their houses, and the Democrats milked it for all it was worth.
Now, look, here comes the president. I mean, the whole thing, you can tell that she's getting agitated. That's probably why they cut to this. But watch the very end of this.
Because they wanted to say, oh, well, you can't get us stand in a line to vote. Yet it was perfectly okay to go out and burn and loot things in the name of social justice. Yep. These Democrats are demons. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're not calling Democrats demons. That's evil spirits. We're not doing that, Mark. Sorry. This is another Mark, Floral Park, New York.
Wow, you see that? We're not going to call them demons. I mean, who is this young man on the phone? I love you, man. Because it's true. On C-SPAN, the Democrats got straight up called demons, and she didn't like it. She said, that's talking about evil spirits. Well, what do you
So yeah, that was pretty awesome. When I watched it the first time, I didn't notice that he was from Maryland. That was pretty interesting. But anyway, yeah, she didn't like that he was saying all that truth because this is what the Democrats, like he said, Democrats. That was funny that the caller called them demons. That was hilarious. But this is what we're facing. Okay, people need to realize that no matter what we do, they're going to do this. They're going to say everything against us. So this is what we need to do is we need to stay united and stop saying things aren't happening. Things aren't happening. Okay. Things are happening because people are doing what he's doing. He's calling people that are leftist Lulus and he's telling them truth. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be telling them truth. And then stuff will start coming out even more. Like I said, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, when you follow the law, it's slow. It's a slow process. Okay. Yes, we'd like things to happen fast. But I say it all the time. This isn't a TV show. We can't do it in a one episode, right? It takes time. We have to investigate. That's why, like they said, I think it was, I want to say it was Dan Bongino this morning. He said, they've looked at every file. He said, I'm pretty sure most of the files got destroyed, so we didn't even get to see them all. But all the ones that we had, we looked through all of them. We've released all of them. What's going to happen from there? Again, he doesn't know because he's now out here, not in the FBI. But they have reviewed everything. So now they have to do investigations. They can't just go and lock people up. I know we want that so much. But you also have, again, the rogue judges. We can lock them up. Okay, locking them up is at least, okay, so they get out. I get, at least just lock them up. But why would we just lock them up for them just to get out? It doesn't even make any kind of sense. That seems like a lot of tax dollars wasted, right? We're talking about all the fraud, stealing all our money. Let's not waste any more money. Again, I don't know if you follow Nick Shirley, but he's found more fraud. He found hospice cares that were not real. And then, oh my gosh, I forget this guy's name all the time. Mike O'Keefe, Project Veritas, right? So he found all this fraud and he said that every day until they start doing something about it, he's going to release another video. Every single day, he's going to release a video. He's got his team working on it every day. So that way they can't just say, okay, we know about it, whatever. He's going to just put them on blast every day. Okay, maybe that's what we have to do. Put them on blast every day. Make these people accountable, right? Okay, they can say, okay, we're investigating it. Okay, it's been 2 days. It's been 5 days. It's been 2 weeks, right? I get it gets old. And I mean, we've talked about the Epstein files forever, right? We've been talking about them for months and months and months. I mean, honestly, I know people are going to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said this, but I'd honestly really like to see the fraud stop over the Epstein files. Get these people deported. Really get these people deported. That's the main thing. I'm going to tell you why I voted for Trump. Okay? Mass deportations, election integrity. That's pretty much why I voted for him. It's close the border, get the illegals out. Keep them from voting. That is my main reasons. Everyone has their own reasons, but that's my main thing. Is when I used to watch the videos of them just flooding over and over into our country. Every day they'd show videos of it. of these people just walking right into our country. It made me sick every day. I'm like, these people are coming here. People would chase them down, find out where they live. They were held up in nice hotels. They had armed guards, so you couldn't interview them. Our state senator, Colton Moore, he found them at the airport in Atlanta. They were holding them at the airport, shipping them to Atlanta, hold them in an airport, and then shipping them all over the state. So to me, I would rather see right now. I'm not saying I want these people to be arrested for the Epstein stuff. Correct. Yes, 1,000%. But as far as I know, they've stopped all the stuff going on. I don't think it's still going on. I mean, yeah, we know there's still sex trafficking, child trafficking. That's not the Epstein stuff. That's different stuff, which they are actually finding them too. That's what I want to thought. Kash Patel. He gave a whole record of how many children they found, how much drugs they've confiscated. He had a whole video. I'll have to find that for tomorrow. And I may play that tomorrow. But I may hurry up and try to research it while I'm on here. I'm not sure. Because it was amazing. I mean, it fits with this episode that I'm doing right now. I couldn't remember what it was that I listened to, but it was Kash Patel. And he was saying, how many kids, how many drugs they stopped from coming in here. And somebody called up and said, no, it was in the chat. And they said, yeah, because he was saying how much fentanyl he stopped from coming into the country. Or they, not him, they. And the guy said, yeah, my son died from fentanyl. See, this is what is hitting us personally. Yes, the Epstein stuff is horrific and these women need justice. I get that. But I'll also say what Pam Bondi said. For 4 years, not one file was released. They've released 3 million files. So they are doing things. It just can't happen in 5 seconds. I know we live in a microwave society. Everything's got to hurry up and happen, right? If it's not happening faster, nothing's happening. Stuff is happening. Things are getting done. It's just a process. So the fraud has to stop. I mean, they're finding so much fraud. It would literally, if they stopped the fraud, our deficit would be gone. What is their deficit? $38 trillion. All the fraud, which there'll probably be money left over because they've already found millions and millions and millions and millions. So they'll probably end up, billions actually. Billions in, if you overall. Like one company will be 8 million, another company will be 16 million. So it's billions. So they probably will have enough after they're finished that will wipe out almost all of it. I wouldn't say all of it. It may not wipe it all out. But even if it cut it in half, that means for once the country's making money instead of spending money. Because it always spends, and never makes. So there are things happening. Like I said, I'd rather them stop the fraud, deport all the illegals, get them off the voter rolls, then move to the Epstein stuff. Because our country is hurting. I know people think we're the best country, we're so rich. This country is hurting right now. And I get this country's still better than other poor countries. You're correct. But this country should not be hurting. We shouldn't have homeless people. We shouldn't have people that are living paycheck to paycheck. We shouldn't have people that can't buy groceries. They have to pick groceries, electric, car payment. You shouldn't have to pick. And we can blame the presidents and all this stuff. Well, we'll say the Biden administration did a lot of the hurting by letting all the illegals in and giving them all the free stuff. That's when everything started getting jacked up. Now, the gas prices, I'm going to try to explain the gas prices a little bit better. Okay. Which I learned something new. So the price goes up and down in general. I'm not going to say right now. I'm not going to talk about why the prices are right now. I'll get to that. Okay, so the prices go up and down because the price that you're paying for your gas when you go to the gas station is for the future gas they're going to get. It's not the gas that you're pumping at that second. So that's why you would say, hey, the barrel of gas just went down. Why did gas prices go up? Well, because they don't know what's going to happen. So it's happened so fast that they won't change it right away, right? So then the next day or the next 2 days, you'll see the gas go down. Because you're paying for the gas in the future. It's very confusing. I just learned this because I didn't even know that was what it was. Because I would always say, hey, the gas is cheaper. Why is the gas still so high? Whatever. Okay. So now the gas is a little bit higher for 2 reasons. One, we only get 1% of our gas from over in Iran. Okay. We don't get majority of our gas from there. 1% is nothing. Okay. But what the gas industry, oil industry or whatever, they use it as, oh, there's a war over there. Let's jack our prices up. Because most people will think that's where we get all our gas and they're going to pay the price because they think that's what happens when we have war over there. The gas prices go up. And honestly, most of the gas and oil industry is probably right now paid off by the left. So not the people that's pumping the oil, of course. Those are probably most likely MAGA people, right? But the people that's distributing the oil, they're all probably leftists at this point, right? Because they're jacking the prices up for no reason. They don't need to. Okay? Yeah, you might want to jack it up a little bit because it will essentially affect our gas a little bit because of where we do get our oil. Venezuela and maybe Saudi Arabia. I don't think so though, because I think majority of our gas right now is coming from Venezuela. And of course, we do have our own, which does have to be refined. It's a whole big thing. But the main issue is it's mostly the gas stations, stuff like that. They're jacking the price up because they can. They're just going to say, well, it's because of the war, so we're making the price higher. And what happens is you have to pay it. You can't say, oh, I can't get gas, I'm not going to get gas, right? You're still going to pay for it. And so the mainstream media, they're like, oh my gosh, look at the gas prices. Never talked about it for 4 years under Biden. Never heard them complaining about gas prices. Not one time. They didn't complain about anything. They covered it all up, right? They didn't talk about eggs until Trump got in there. Then they started saying, oh my gosh, egg prices. Egg prices were high for 6 months before Trump got in there. But they want to say, oh, egg prices are so high. He literally just got inaugurated. He can't stop egg prices that fast. Like how fast you think he's going to get the egg prices down? I mean, I'll tell you, when he got in office in January 2025, yes, okay, a lot of 20s. Eggs were almost $5, about $5 a dozen. I just went to the grocery store today. They're $1.66 for all the people that kept crying about eggs, right? Now, mind you, I get the little cheap eggs. I don't get the organic, cage-free, stuff like that. Probably should. I know they're better, but right now, it is what it is. So this is what they're doing, is they're just saying, oh my goodness, gas prices are so high. Mind you, gas is high. Right before we bombed Iran, gas was $2.30 something here. Okay, I just got gas today. It was $3.65. Okay, that's a big difference. It sucks. But if we can get rid of terrorists, I'll pay the extra for the gas for a couple months. Okay? They're terrorists. Okay? They killed 30,000 of their own people for just being in the streets protesting. Just shot them down. Okay? What if that happened here? What would you do if our police started shooting people in the street? Oh, I already know what you're going to do because you did it a couple months ago, right? 2 people got killed by ICE agents. You would have thought the whole world was coming to an end. They killed 30,000 of their people on the streets for protesting. They're terrorists. So we're taking out terrorists. That's what we do, right? That's what we're doing right now. So things are happening. I get not maybe the way we want it to go. Again, we don't have all the information either. We don't know all the things that Trump knows, his administration. We don't even know some of the stuff that mainstream media knows. They might know a little bit more stuff than we even know. But like I said, this guy that called in on C-SPAN, she didn't even know what to say. She didn't know what to do. He was telling her truth. This is what we do. So this is what's happening. People are getting bold. They're saying, you know what? I'm sick of the lies. Jim Crow 2.0. Okay? The Save America is not Jim Crow 2.0. We need to have fair elections. They found just in 2 counties all this fraud for 2020 election. And now they're looking in 2024, all the fraud. People want to know when they go to vote that their vote counts. We're Americans. We pay taxes. We want to be able to vote and know that our elections are fair. Like that guy said, no other place in this whole world has mail-in ballots but here. So this is a good thing. This guy was telling some truth. I loved it. Okay. The next one I'm going to show is Dan Bongino. He does say a little bit of cussing. I'm sorry. I do not know how to beep it out. So he does say a little bit of stuff. I don't think it's awful, but he does say a couple bad words. It's Dan Bongino. If you watch him, you know him. But he shows a little bit of things that are going on. He explains some of the stuff. He's talking about the grifters, I believe. This is the clip where he's talking about the grifters. And he says all the stuff that's good, that's going on, that people, need to stop saying the country's going bad. Okay? Bad stuff's going on. But we can control that. We just have to vote, number one. And we need to keep putting the truth out there. Don't let them tell us all these lies. Don't fall for the lies. Okay? So we're going to do this clip.
Oh, I tell you all the time that there is a coordinated op going on out there. Please, again, bookmark the show, flag it already. We're only 5 minutes into the show. Okay? Everybody right now is preparing for 2028. Everybody's going to, no, not everybody's going to run. But there are people who are going to run who have already made promises to other people in the influencer space, the consulting space, the polling space. So everybody right now is involved. There you go. Flags in the chat is involved right now. The people you suspect rightly so, are doing this because they're in on the grift, okay? So there's an op going on because they're afraid of whoever Donald Trump may endorse in 2028 because they have their own money train involved. Just think of all the primaries Donald Trump's been involved in, how vicious those got, right? Think of him without him there, what this is going to look like. So there's an effort right now to diminish Donald Trump's accomplishments so that they can't pass on kind of like the Reagan legacy to anyone else. You get what I'm talking about? Because that's the kind of transformation that happened. So there's this like effort, I know about it, now you know about it, and it's a totally organized op, everybody's flagging it in the chat, to make sure you don't think Donald Trump is doing what he's doing in his administration. That's where the nothing is happening stuff comes from. It's all bullshit. So this happened yesterday. Is a tweet by Mark Caputo from Florida Politics. News, James Comey has been subpoenaed in the wide-ranging grand conspiracy case. What one, guys? I thought nothing was... Justin, what case is that? That's not camp. There's a case? Justin's like, I guess there is. So this Jim Comey's been subpoenaed in the wide-ranging grand conspiracy case that everyone tells us isn't happening. Those who had investigated and prosecuted Trump from 2017 to 2024. More than 130 subpoenas have been issued by the Southern District of Florida. That's weird, man. Justin, how can they issue a subpoena without a case number? There's no case. Listen, I'm not going to go into too much detail on all this. I'm just telling you, like, it's all open source. You can read what I can read. But you don't find it odd that now the people who've told you that the case that they say isn't happening is actually happening? You'll get no apologies at all. Everything I've told you is true. Some people just prefer to be lied to, like lied to by Joe Kent. I'm not going to lie to you. I was honest with you. Just because you don't see things happening right away, not mean they weren't happening. Things in the judicial system take time. And by the way, you should be grateful for that. You don't want the judicial system rushing it if, God forbid, you're accused of a crime, correct? You want it to be deliberate and correct. Slow but right rather than fast but wrong. That's the way the system's designed. Again, I'm not expecting any, whatever, you get the point. Here's MSNBC covering it last night. Was this Nicole Wallace? We haven't done that for a while. I don't know. It's just a regular black shot. I don't know if she approves or what. Maybe too small for her. I don't know. Maybe she likes it. I don't know. But here's Nicole Wallace last night at MSNBC talking about the case that isn't happening.
The former director of the FBI, Jim Comey, has reportedly been subpoenaed in that wide-ranging grand conspiracy case that they're trying to assemble against anyone who ever investigated and sought to prosecute Donald Trump.
All right. So whatever, guys. I assume that the case you said wasn't happening. Now it's happening. Now you move on to something else that isn't happening. And I mean, oh, well, it didn't happen fast enough. Really? You would have done it faster from your behind your keyboard? Come on, man. Like, give me a freaking break. I'm so tired of the grift and the bullshit. I really am. It is exhausting listening to this bullshit all the time from people who are clearly positioning themselves for 2028. Bookmark the show. You will play this back when all of these people jump in, and the same grifters online right now, you're looking at, they're all become part of the network. You're going to be like, man, I should have listened to him. He told us the truth. And it started yesterday as well with this just unbelievably ridiculous Joe Kent interview, where I just dissected every single lie. He lied to you yesterday because he's now part of this grift. And they see the wedge issue as the Jews, and that's it. Whether you care about it or not doesn't matter. They see it as a wedge issue to cleave off a portion in 2028 and do this. Bookmark the show, remember it. So they run by, as I discussed yesterday, they're using a couple of things. And I don't want to redo yesterday's show, but I want to show you another example of how they're full of shit. The Doomer crowd runs by this gatekeeper theory, if you look it up, that Donald Trump, because they don't want to attack Donald Trump, because they want to take his MAGA coalition. I said it yesterday. But in order to take it, they also have to diminish what his administration's doing, so they attack.
Okay, I'm going to play just a couple more minutes of this because he explains a lot of the grift, which might help some of you.
Every member around him, his advisors, his cabinet, everything. It's actually pretty clever. And they call it this gatekeeper theory, that Donald Trump is being deceived. You know, like I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Are you Lord of the Rings fan? Are you guys? You know when that the king is by the worm guy is they take it over. That's what they think. Like Donald Trump is sitting on the throne with the. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not a huge fan. And I should be. Great books. I read The Hobbit and whatever. President and gotten smoked. There are millionaires who run for governor and get smoked.
It's the development of a nuclear weapon.
Can you come back to that 1 second? Let me finish.
Yeah.
Just the Democrat Congress. Some of the people promoting it mention my name. They haven't. Really, put up the Daily Caller headline again. You know something about the Butler case that all of us don't know. The gatekeepers that you have some hidden knowledge, but you just won't disclose it, correct? Unless people pay $25 for your podcast. President Trump says he's very satisfied with the official narrative on Butler. That's because everybody's gatekeeping, folks. Gatekeeping. Keep in mind, like, the people you accuse of gatekeeping surrounding the president, by the way, their motive is what? Is there an official book out there, guys, I missed about another? To the hate, I'm curious. Because only lied to, but which is bullshit. Everybody knows in their own words. My podcast, and I keep it up, Justin. They had the magic picture that Israel shows you exactly as you just heard it. Because everybody's gate. Some of the people promoting it.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Oh, sorry. The part I wanted to show you, I can't find it now. But he showed a part of them talking about the Iran thing, and Joe Kent had said there was no evidence that Iran was, going to do something to us. And then somebody that's in the intelligence, he said that's not true. Okay. If anyone doesn't know, for 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans and anyone else that they feel like killing. So at any point, they are a threat because they're killing Americans. They've killed over 2,000 Americans. Okay? So that means they're killing Americans, so we have a reason to go in there. Okay? So this is just what they do. There's no reason for us to go in there. Yes, there is a reason for us to go in there. There's always a reason. It's not just because. I mean, I'm assuming, yes, there's probably times when things happen with other countries and there was probably not a reason. We just felt like doing it. America can do whatever they want. But there was an actual reason this time. There was intel that was saying there was people that were trying to kill Trump. Those people have been taken out, if you haven't heard. So the people that are supposed to be, had all these, hits out or whatever, they've been taken out. So again, President Trump's still alive. So there was a reason to go in there and do what we did. Okay? Again, I will not be for boots on the ground. But right now, there's no boots on the ground. Besides the boots that are in the other areas, that's always there. There's always military over there. In every country, I believe, we have boots on the ground that are always there. They have military bases. They're there. Nothing's going on. They're just hanging out, waiting, training. I don't know. It just happens. So they just stay there. And that's the way it is because that's how we stay safe over here. They go over there to protect us over here. I know people don't want to hear that. And people want to say, well, my son and daughter is not going to die for this country. Okay, your son and daughter can volunteer. When they volunteer, they sign saying they know they may go to war. They may go to other countries and have to fight other countries. They volunteer. No one's making them do anything. Okay? No draft has been in existence since 1973. We were in Afghanistan, Iraq, all that for 20 years. There was never a draft. So all the people that want to say, oh my gosh, there's going to be a draft. Oh, you're going to send my sons and daughters, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to happen. unless the whole world goes off crazy. Okay? Right now, we don't see that happening. And again, people sign up for the military, they know what they're getting into. Okay? You're not sending your sons and daughters there. They are volunteering. I can't just sign my kids up and send them off into the military. Okay? They have to willingly go. They volunteer, they sign on the dotted line. Now they have to do what they're told. They know this when they go in recruitment. Hey, you may go to war. You may live in another country for 2 years. You may come back and go back. They know this. They're not doing it not knowing what's going on. They do it because they want to defend their country. They want to serve the American people. That's what they've signed up for. No one goes in there having no idea what could happen. Okay, so I'm going to show just some statistics from Harry Enton. Now, this is CNN. He is very, I don't know. I can't tell if he's actually a left-wing person or a right-wing person because he's super happy about the statistics. So we'll see, but I watch him all the time and he's just hilarious because he's so excited. But maybe he just likes numbers and that makes him excited. Okay, this one is the voter ID. I thought this was voter ID. That's what I typed in. Oh, sugar. Oh, here it is.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote. Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. Okay, 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Like voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote. Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this. If you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump.
It's interesting, though, because there have been a couple prominent people who have sort of come out online, and they're very mad about this war with Iran because he promised no new wars. Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the numbers, I've heard some people say, but when you look at those MAGA numbers, it doesn't account for those who might have left MAGA. But take a look here. Americans who identify as MAGA, in November of 2024, it was 28% of Americans. Now it's basically the same. If anything, it's slightly higher at 30%. The bottom line is this. The MAGA base within the GOP is not shrinking. It's the same size. If anything, it is slightly larger than it was back in 2024 when, of course, Donald Trump won a second term. So that 100% that Donald Trump has approval among MAGA GOP, that is not an artifact of MAGA shrinking. It's just an indication of how strong Donald Trump's grip is on that MAGA base.
And so I guess it begs the question is what's happening with inside the GOP and if there are any splits there, because with those kind of numbers, they're going to want to retain that, right? So they can retain their seats.
Yes. And you know what we're talking about, we mentioned Iran in the intro of this segment, GOP on U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. In MAGA, it's 90% approval. It's 90% approval, just 5% disapproval. If you disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing, the U.S. military action in Iran, and you're a member of the GOP, look at this. It's your non-MAGA. You're non-MAGA. It's 36% there, 54% approved. But the majority of Republicans approve of the job that the U.S. military action is in Iran, and the majority of MAGA, which is the majority of the GOP, very much approve, 90%. Very little split in Donald Trump's base. Those who disapprove in the GOP, simply put, they hate MAGA.
It's really clear MAGA has the floor.
MAGA has the floor, 100%.
All right. Harry Anton, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes you look at the...
All right, there you go. MAGA has the floor. That's what CNN said. So don't get down. Don't start grifting. Get it together. Again, Iran, we are not at war with Iran because the Congress has to declare a war. They have not, and it would not be a new war. They have been at war with us since 1979. You can go look it up and you can see what they've done to Americans since 1979. They have terrorized us and the rest of the world since 1979. And if you did not know, this is a nice little thing that I just learned from doing some research, is they were actually a pretty free country until 1979 when the Ayatollah took over, because the women didn't have to wear a burqa covering everything but their eyeballs. They actually dressed like Americans then, just like women dress here. And now they're covered everything but their eyes. So just in case you think it can't happen here, it can happen here. So we need to be making sure we're not voting for Democrats. I don't care who the Democrat is. Do not vote for them. They are all the same at this point. Right now, they're all exactly the same. Okay? You can't tell the difference between the lefty Lulus and the moderates. Don't even take the chance. It's vote Republican to keep from becoming Cuba, Iran, China, all these communist countries. Okay, we don't want that here. So we have a good standing right now. We have a hard MAGA base that we need to be keeping up with. We need to stay united. Okay? There's enough of us that we can win the midterms and keep the majority in the House and the Senate. We can take some seats from the governors and the mayors that are in blue cities and blue states right now. We have the numbers. We just have to get out and vote. It's positive stuff going on. I know you see all the negative and you want to be a black pillar. Please do not. Stay positive. We have a lot of things going on, but we have to do our part. We can't just say, oh, I don't want to vote because why bother? That's what they want us to think. That's how they win. In every election since 2024, 20% of voters have been getting out to vote. That's mayors, that's governors, that's pathetic. Honestly, mayors, governors, city council, those are the people that really affect your life. I mean, look at Virginia, look at New York, look at Oregon and Washington State. These are what really affect you. You need to be showing up and you need to be voting. I feel like a broken record, but I'm going to do this all the way to November. We have to vote. We cannot let them win. They will make the next 2 years, and I'm going to say it, a living hell if they win. They will. So we cannot let them win. As much as we don't want to vote for certain people, I know we'll feel like, oh my gosh, we're just voting for a rhino again. Okay? Some of the seats are brand new people. We have no idea. We may think they're rhinos. They may not be rhinos. But we know what the Democrats are going to do. We cannot let them win. Yes, we have some weak spine rhinos right now. We get it. But, hey, they're not passing any radical bills either. In Virginia, they're taking people's guns. That's going to be the whole country if we don't vote for Republicans. They just passed it in Virginia. So guess what's going to happen? Other blue governors are going to be doing the same thing, trying to pass restrictive gun laws. You know, honestly, we should have no gun laws. We shouldn't even have to show ID to buy a gun by the Constitution. That's actually restricting our rights. So I don't know why Virginia's not doing anything. Maybe somebody will. I'm really hoping somebody does. Fight it, take it to the Supreme Court. That's what I would be doing if I lived in Virginia. There's no way I'd be letting that go. That's why right now, yes, Georgia doesn't have the best governor, but he loves gun rights. So good for him. I'll keep promoting him. He's not running again, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to keep saying, hey, he might be this, he might be that, but he hasn't taken any of our rights away. Because generally that's not what Republicans do, even when they're rhinos. They just won't really fight for us, but they won't take our rights away. So you got to look at it like that. So I thank you so much for watching. Please like and share. Please, if you have any comments, you can comment. Anything, you have any questions. I know this was a weird episode sometimes because I don't really do a script. It's pretty much just, honestly, I pray about it. And normally whatever I feel like I should talk about is what I talk about. Today, I just wanted to give some hope to people because I keep hearing so bad how bad the country is, how worried the people are about Iran and gas prices. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be positive, give people some positive. Okay? It's going to get better. I promise you. I know people don't understand what Trump's doing. He's a businessman. He knows business, and that's what he's doing. He's running a business, which is our country. That's his business that he's running right now. Okay? So please trust him. Again, I'll tell you, I don't agree with everything he's ever done. Okay? I don't. There's things that I wish he wouldn't have done. Okay? But overall, I approve of him because Kamala, I don't even want to think of where we'd be right now with that crazy woman. I don't even want to think of it. And Tampon Tim. I don't even want to think about it. So just stay positive, pray, vote, get your friends out, talk to your family, be the positive. Like that's what I have to do with my family. My family live in Maryland. Okay. So when I talk to them, sometimes they're very down and because they live in a state that's trying to be socialist. Okay. Their governor sucks. Okay. So I have to be like, nope, it's going to get better. No, it's going to get better. I have to do this constantly, mostly with my dad and my aunt. She is always like, oh my gosh, it's so bad right now. Always. And I have to be like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just like she was never thought Trump would win. I was like, I'm telling you, he's going to win. And he won. So she takes my advice. So that's good. So please, am I 100% right? No, of course not. But I'm telling you, things are going to get better and things are not as bad as you think. Okay? Yes, you hear all the doomers. But things are going good. We can do it. We can cross the finish line as the winners. We just have to do our part. So thank you so much. Please like and share. Tomorrow I may be on later because I have a GOP meeting tomorrow. So I will not be back probably until 5 or 5:30. So I may do 6:30, and maybe 7. I don't know. I've done it at 7 before. I don't like doing it that late, but I want to stay keeping informed, helping people be positive. That's what my goal is, to just keep people positive. Sorry, that was a little tongue twister. But thank you so much. Please like and share. You can follow me on pretty much everything. I'm on everything. Sometimes I think I get censored on Facebook, so I am on Rumble. Just in case it does get censored, I do put this on also on Rumble, where they say you can't be censored. So hopefully I won't be censored. But thank you so much. You have a blessed evening. Be safe and enjoy your evening.